What is going on, traders? So in this video, I'm going to talk about how to take advantage of a good setup. And we're going to talk about how to maximize our profits by adding on or scaling into our trades. And I'm going to outline a few rules that need to be met in order for us to successfully add on our contracts, because a lot of beginners can get this wrong very quickly and they can end up losing the twice of their initial position. So we're going to talk about that so that wouldn't happen. And the video is going to be divided into two parts. So in the first part of the video, you're going to see my live trading today and how I added on my contracts today live. And the second part of the video, we're going to talk about what was going through my mind as I was looking at the chart. And I'm going to explain you my thought process behind me taking these trades. So without any further ado, let's dive into this. So that was my trading today, and I'm going to talk about the rules that need to be met in order for me to successfully add on. And there are 4 rules. Number 1, that the setup has to be with trend setup. The second rule is it has to be second entry, because second entry is a high probability setup. Market moves in twos. Third rule is it has to be at the key entry point, because that is the place where high probability setups occur. And fourth rule is that the previous correction, the previous trend in the bigger trend has to play out. So now we're gonna dive into these rules more deeply. The first rule that is being met, we can check this rule because the downtrend is strong, prices are making lower highs and lower lows, EMA is pointing lower, keeps rejecting prices, there are clear trend lines in play, for sure downtrend. We are only looking for reasons to go short. We are not buying this market at all. This is a falling knife and we don't want to catch it. So the second rule is it has to be second entry. Second entry in itself with trend is a high probability setup. This is the new rule right here. First entry short, pull back, second entry short. This is the first leg that market made, and pull back, second leg. So this is a 2-legged move up. Third rule, it has to be at the key entry point. The key entry point right now here is the EMA. And the fourth rule is that the previous correction has to play out. We have this uptrend working higher, we have a break and a new high. So after a break of a trend line, there's going to be retest of a new extreme, and that will conclude this current trend. So all the rules are being met now. I'm just going to give you guys a little side note here, that when I talk about adding on, I mean that my initial position is still in play. I haven't been filled in my initial entry, meaning I never add on when I already scalp and I'm holding a runner and then I see a good setup. That's not a good scaling in opportunity. I only scale in when I'm still in my first position and I haven't scalped out yet. So it was the second entry short at the EMA in a huge downtrend, and prices ticked a few ticks lower and turned up higher. So this right here was a trap to trap early bulls who are trying to go long way too early. We don't have a break and a new low yet in this instance. So people thought they trapped people like me going short here on a second entry short. But this is a strong downtrend and they take a few ticks higher and instantly reverse. And I guarantee you, everybody who went long here started to panic because they're going long way too early in a huge downtrend. This trade right here is still part of a second entry. That's the point here. I'm still holding my trade. I'm still inside of my second entry. This low right here, this high right here is lower than this high. So this is just a lower high setup and a nice bearish bar. And the reason behind adding on here is that this is a second chance for us to enter. And this is the main thing that I want you guys to take away from this. That is, if as you are watching a good setup at the key entry point and you're scared to enter, but market makes a trap and you have, identical entry, this is still part of the second entry, you get identical entry. This is a second chance for you to enter. That's the whole point in adding on, because you can miss the first attempt and it just makes a little trap a few people who are trying to, counter trend trade early, and you get a second chance to enter. And it ended up working nicely. So hopefully you guys get a grasp on why I'm adding on here and how to add on. And you have to be very careful with adding on. You have to be experienced trader. If you're a novice trader, forget about adding on. Just focus on spotting the proper setups. But I know there are a few advanced traders that watch my content as well and are interested in adding on. So this is how I manage adding on, and this is how I scale in. And overall, I was done with trading by this moment, but as I was recording, I wanted to show you guys more trades. So I scaled down to just one contract because I want to show you guys how I take trades. And I only took this was my last setup. So for you guys who are wondering why did I go to one contract, because I was already quite tired and I didn't want to risk giving my money back after such a quick easy day. So I scale in back one contract. If I have a loser, nothing really that bad happened. But the thing here today is to recognize the entire structure, because this is a huge downtrend. This is a falling knife, and beginner traders really try to pick bottoms because they keep thinking that the market moved a lot and there's no way it's going to move lower again. It already moved down so much, it has to reverse, it has to reverse. This is what they're looking for, but no, market keep going lower and keep going lower. This is how the trend works. We have a break and a new low, so this uptrend played out. There's a key level right here that I found, and there's a key level here that I found. You guys saw it live. Now, why don't we take this key level entry right here? Because this is a triple top right here. Well, because downtrend is very strong. This is a huge move down. We don't just rely on key levels as a pattern. We're not pattern traders. We rely on the overall market structure. Prices broke lower, came back into trading range. I was attempting to take a trade here if we broke lower, because this would be first entry short, second entry short below EMA. It didn't happen. Prices came back into trading range. Here, right here is the situation that really you need to be afraid of, to be honest with you, because this is a congestion. Prices are in the middle of those bars. Excuse me, EMA is in the middle of those bars. Prices are going next to each other, side by side, and we are in the middle of this trading range. So this is a congestion, this is a consolidation. You skip trading this and you wait for failed breakout. But prices broke higher, found resistance at the key level, and nice bearish bar, and is a failed breakout. So this was my second trade that I took, and my runner got stopped out. And there's a lower high that in hindsight I think it was a very good setup. This is the lower high of this high, so we're coming off the highs, we're pushing through the EMA. We definitely pushed through the EMA right here, pulled back, failed second entry short, high probability setup below EMA, beautiful reversal bar. I tried to get in, but I chickened out of this trade. I got too scared, you know, I kicked myself afterwards. That's what happens. There's a second entry short right here. Once again, second entry, market moves in twos, but we're far away from EMA, and I don't think this is a smart entry because we already once again made a new low. Prices made a measured move to the measured second tier of a trading range, very similar. So this is a two-tier trading range, measured move down, and market is starting to reverse at this point on, because we already have a break and definitely a few new lows of this bigger downtrend, and we have a downtrend working lower, we have a break and new low, and we have a micro double bottom right here. And prices, look how prices pushed through the EMA, strong move. So I think this was a good trade to take, and prices made a second leg up. This right here is the first leg working higher, this right here is the second leg working higher. I was contemplating taking these trades, but I didn't, and I made a mistake, because on a 5-minute chart, look at the nice entry. This was on a 5-minute chart. It was a first entry short, second entry short at the key entry point. So had I been looking at the 5-minute chart, that would prompt me to take this trade, but I missed that. And you know, this is why it was such a great trade. Market already made a 2 legs. This uptrend played out with the break and a new high, so time to look for shorts. Prices made a double bottom, and once again, take a look how all the magic happens at the key entry points. Forget about taking all these iffy setups. They're really not the ones. Double bottom right here, market is reversing. We have a break, attempt to make a new high, and we pushed below EMA. Nice bearish reversal bar. I thought we could make a move lower, but we ended up reversing, and it's no surprise. Market is already reversing, and on a 5-minute chart as well. So no surprise, we are already working higher. But you know, hopefully you guys now understand how I add on. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video, you get any value from this. If you do, please hit the like button, I would really appreciate it. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't, and just wait for the key entry points. If you guys take a look, there was so many second entries at the key entry points. It's a shame that this was a pre-market open. If this was a regular market open, trading couldn't be easier. So hopefully this was helpful, and I'm gonna see you guys in the next one. Take care, everybody.